Welcome to Jumosi Podcast. Sspdf, the South Sudan Army, transferred approximately 600 criminal gangs that were arrested around Juba suburbs to Nasir.
I think somewhere around June, there was a video that surfaced of a 16-year-old girl who had been sexually assaulted by a criminal gang of around seven to nine individuals. Some of them are actually teenagers as well. Yeah. So what happened is that these people recorded the act, and the video kind of found its way to the social media. And then it led to a lot of uproar from the citizens and netizens across the world, saying that this is very inhumane and they need to be arrested as soon as yesterday. So the government acted on it. And I think around 6 or all the 7 of them were arrested. And then from those few individuals, the government went on crackdown of gangs across Juba. Because the citizens were calling for a crackdown of gangs because there have been a lot of gang violence in different suburbs of Juba, which cause a lot of death. Sometimes they'll just cut you with fingers, they steal phones, steal money, attack people on the road, even in broad daylight. And it was unbecoming. So that way, when around 600 and I believe 23 of them were arrested, some of course are not gangs, but then they were all arrested in the name of being gangs. Those individuals were being transported to Nasir. Yeah, I don't know, is it like for military training or to go to whatever the government is going to do with them? I'm not very sure.
Yeah, so for most of the headline, people were putting it as they were being transferred to Nasir Frontline.
Okay.
And in South Sudan, when we hear a word frontline, it means where people are fighting. And in March of this year, there was a fight between community militia called White Army that fought with the government soldiers.
Sspdf,
And they even overran their barracks. And the government had to intervene with more soldiers and reinforcement. And then they were dislodged again. So when people were seeing these people being transferred to Nasir, they made a conclusion that they're going to be made to fight for the government. And some people were like, why do you take individuals that are not trained to a war zone? Let's just call it a war zone. But then, like you mentioned, people forget that what atrocities that these guys were committing were of a high degree. You can't just be cutting people panga, and when you are taken to somewhere with assumption that there's fighting ongoing, we are here on Facebook making noise for you again. There's nothing bad with being transferred to Nasir, because the Nasir itself, South Sudanese are living there. So you being taken there does not mean you are going to die. Not all people in Nasir have died.
No, the thing is, like, why I believe some people were against that act, right, is because there's no clear investigation into these cases to make sure that whoever was arrested by the government are actual gangs, because there were a few individuals who are well known to different people. Let's say, for example, there's someone called Lord G. He's a rapper. He made so many videos around Jebel Kujur where he does freestyle rapping. People said he was also arrested. So that kind of makes it questionable to know, like, what type of techniques did these soldiers and the police use to arrest the assumed gangs. And if you are taking everyone, including innocent people, then that's not just. Yeah. If at all they can be verified to be gang members, then that's a different case.
But it's correct. Sometimes they can end up attacking innocent people, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, anything that is brought to public, we are going to have different opinions.
True.
And even like when the government is sure we have evidence that these guys are criminal, some people somewhere will say, no, they're not criminal. These are our good people. So that's always the problem. And it's going to, it was going to delay a lot of things. So sometimes, with the social media, sometimes it's really hard to do the right thing or the wrong thing. Because when you do a small thing, there is criticism everywhere.
Yeah.
Because when the girl sexual assaulted, people were saying, oh, arrest the criminals, can government do something? And then now the government went in with the kienyeji way of doing their investigation and arresting. They end up high chances arresting innocent people. Yeah. So now the public one has released some people, and we forgot what led us to let them
for
arrest
those
these people.
who have evidence against them, you deal with them appropriately, because it's not good. Maybe this is not even their first time doing something like that. And I heard that there were others who committed sexual assault, some even assaulting like older women. Like a woman who's old enough to be your grandmother, you are sexually assaulting them. Like, what kind of behavior is that? And then what makes this even more sad is that most of these gangs are our relatives, brothers, and even sisters. And they live at home. It's not like they are street children.
Yeah.
So why is it hard for individuals to control their children? That's one of, like, we have to look at the root cause of some of these criminal activities. Where do the people go wrong for these children to be committing such crimes? This is because sometimes as parents, when your child commits a crime or a neighbor sees your child stealing something and then they come and tell you, you start defending your child instead of trying to investigate to see, like, is it true? Could he or she have done what the person is accusing them of doing? I know some people would make blunder and slander your name, but then sometimes as parents, they also need to like do their own investigation and stop some of these vices before they explode or go to a national scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I came across a post on social media where someone said there's one of gang members, like one of the gang leaders. Apparently, he even has a car. Tried to sneak
out.
4 gangs out of Juba to Town, and then the person ended up being arrested. Because why do you want to sneak non-gang members away instead of letting all of you face the consequences of your choices? Because you cannot keep on committing crimes and go scot-free. Somehow, somewhere, you'll be arrested. And you have to face the consequences of your actions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy. But the government, so they did what they did, but there were other alternatives they would have used, like using this, because these are, some of them are juniors, right? Like they are under 18. So instead of taking them to Nasir, they should have just used, this is a farming season. So they would have just used them as farmers. They grab them in the morning, they take them to a field, and then they go work for the government, and then they bring them back in the evening. They work for at least 2 years. When they are released, then when they go back, they will find that some of the old gang members either went back to the community, they are no longer there. But if you're going to let them stay for a few months, and release them again, this criminal thing is not going to end.
Yeah, and I also believe the police and the army in general need to like come up with better investigation techniques. Because sometimes we've seen, I think around 2023 or 2024, they had started cracking down on niggers. They call them niggers and crews gangs. And one of the techniques they used was people with dreadlocks. They look at your dressing style and assume you are a bad person. So they ended up even shaving people and arresting those who had dreadlocks. And that's just a hairstyle. Like, you don't assume that someone is a criminal by looking at them. You need to conduct thorough investigations and make sure that whoever you are arresting, you have some concrete evidence against them. You don't just arrest people in masses simply because you think they might be bad apples.
Yeah. But again, the police had somewhere to start.
Yeah.
Because there were individuals that were identified through a video committing the act.
Yes.
So these people is where they would have started it. They say 7 of you, like the way that they did, they arrested them. They give them a task of letting all the
Snitching.
tell every one of them, write all your group members, including those that we have here in the facility. And you put everyone in different rooms. They list all their gang members. Everyone list, and then the phone numbers and where they are possibly to be located. And then the police go compile the whole thing. And then now they can ask them, we know you guys have a rival gang. Who are their members? List them there, each of them again, with somewhere to start. And then now they say, okay, these were just your rivals. How many other gangs group do you know that exist that might be your friend, or they're not your friends, or somewhere else? List them. And then the work of the police now is to go with this list. You go grab few from the rival gang. They write again their members. You go to any other gang member that has been mentioned. You go easy, instead of like looking at the dressing code. That's all Sudan, man. Things are changing. Yeah.
And also, like, apart from doing that, those that have already been arrested, because I know in our community, we have this thing of, the issue will be resolved at community level. So by the time when your child is arrested, that means the criminal offense has gone overboard, right? And then you come as a parent, guardian, or relative to release them on bail in the name of, we are going to address the issue at the community level. Once something has gone the legal way, it has to end legally. And then this issue of you're going to Bara and Lawarko will pay money and release them, it should not be accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, the government is supposed to come up with some of the criminal cases or some of criminal activities that when you commit this one have nothing to do with the community. You just have to face the states. So it's the government with you. Even if you're the two communities from two of your side comes, nobody's going to listen to it. But this issue of like, we'll deal with it in a community way, that used to be the old ways when we did not have a government, when we used to rely on the Bashir government. But now there's a country. Let the law take it course. We are not supposed to be, community what?
Yeah, actually, offenses like rape and other sexual offenses or offenses against morality, according to the Penal Code Act of 2008, they actually carry very huge penalties. For example, in case of sexual intercourse of a minor, the person can be sentenced to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 14 years. And you may also be liable to a fine. The amount of fine has not been established, like it's not indicated in this article, but it's something that can be decided by the judge. And then there are other punishments for various criminal offenses. So we have the blueprint of what needs to be done in case of some of these assaults. But then now it's the government that is not acting on them. Because sometimes you can find a case whereby there's a rape involved and then the community goes the community way. Sometimes they would even say, you can marry her, especially if the girl gets pregnant. Then to avoid shame, embarrassment,
how
or
do
those.
You marry your okay. Yeah, is really bad. Do you think if these guys are taken to Nasir, or the way that they have been taken to, or when they were taken to, do you think a new crop of gang is going to grow again in Juba.
Most likely, because I don't believe they have exhausted all of them, right? Right now, I'm very sure if you ask someone in Juba what's happening, they'll still tell you they're still struggling with the issue of crew or gang. Because these people cannot even let you be in peace. You can't walk with your phone. Let's say, especially in the evening, where your light can be seen if you're walking. You put your phone very far from your hands, and then it's on silent. Because if they come across you, they'll just cut you with panga, and they walk with panga, swords, different types of weapons. Yeah. They'll hurt you physically, and they'll take out anything that you have in your possession. Yeah. If you have a handbag, it's also another big deal. You have money, they'll snatch it from you and harm you on the way too. So, like, I'm very sure people still have those concerns.
Yes. So to me, I think the gangs are still going to pop up everywhere again because the root cause has not been addressed.
Yeah.
There are these kids that are 12-year-old right now. When they grow to be 13, 15, 16, they will find their grouping. And so long as we parent, we are not stepping up, we are not doing the right thing, then these guys are going to be the same thing because it's about necessities, and this is town. We have to understand that people are looking for things.
Yeah.
And if you're not providing as a parent and you're not giving a guidance, then your child is going to look for a way to get it.
Yeah. Because you find that some parents are never at home.
Yeah.
Every time when you pass near someone's compound, they are not there. And you
Community
find
events.
children as young as 3 or even 5 being left at home alone. And it's because, oh, we have neighbors here. So you just tell the neighbor, oh, like, listen to these kids, make sure they are on the compound. I'm running somewhere, I'll be back.
Yeah.
You'll be back, and then 2 hours later, you're still not back. These kids will get hungry, they'll need something to eat, and probably you did not even leave them with food.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, even when the parent is at home, you just leave your children to go and play. They'll go and play with their neighbors' kids, and then from one house to another. By the end of the day, they have gone to all the houses within the neighborhood. If you don't tame kids, you tell them that if you're going to play, you play at this house and come back. And then know that if it's lunchtime, you come back. Then they'll just get used to that. Some children will wake up in the morning, get lost if it's holiday season, and then they come back at night, and you don't tell them anything, as if they went to work. They'll continue just like that. And from there, they'll go and meet some bad apples. That's how they form the groupings and then end up becoming part of like gang members and stuff.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be up to the parents in the urban centers to know these challenges that come with staying in town. Because right now in the villages, they're not having those problems because people are almost equal. People are not a lot. There are not a lot of things that need money in the villages.
Yeah.
So the need to get a free money is not there. So you can't be, if you are already in the urban city, you're not going to...
You have a different set of challenge.
Yeah, so you're not going to raise up your kids like somebody in the village or the way that you were raised up when you were young. Things have changed.
Yeah. Also in the village, like people, most of them will stay at home, right? Or you go to the farm.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll go even with those small kids. And then they go and sit somewhere in the shade. So you kind of tend to keep an eye on them. And it's not every day that you go to the farm. Once the farming season is over, you wait for the harvest.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, parents are together with the children. At least one of the parents.
Yeah. And the drug substances to be abused are low in the villages. In town, they are everywhere. There's beer in hotels, in dukas, and literally somebody can go buy for you even when you are underage and you come and use it. Or even a child can go to
Like you are sent by an adult.
Or you can go by yourself and buy, and the person selling the alcohol will not question you. They're there to make money. Life is tough.
Yeah.
They will just sell you. They don't care if you're going to drink it and you're still under 18.
Yeah. And then there's also the issue of social media. So you see the gang members parading themselves. Some will take photos with like money. So you kind of start admiring such lifestyles from a young age. And then before you know it, you end up trying to follow, like, what is it that these people do to get these things?
Yeah. And I always see that, like, when children are growing astray, we threaten them. Like in Juba, what they do, they will tell you that they will take you to cattle camp. Instead of addressing the root cause, this is your child. You don't have to tell them, I'll take you to cattle camp as a punishment. Yes, it's going to limit access to some of the things that are causing the issue, but you have not resolved your relationship with your child, your relationship with what is disturbing them. You have to start from there.
And you'll not keep an eye on them. And no one is going to take proper care of your child than you as a parent.
You don't have to be running away from the responsibilities by saying that you will send them somewhere else. Get down as a parent. Yes, you have failed already, but can you work out something with your child? Everybody knows what is good for their life. If you talk with them, you say, this is how I'm going to help you as your parent to live a better life. Then it's not just giving words and then you leave them on their own to figure it out life. It's not possible. A 16-year-old, you want them to figure out how to make a lot of things? No. You have to guide them.
In Swahili we say, mtoto umleavyo ndivyo akuavyo, right? And asiyefunzwa na mamaye hufunzwa na ulimwengu. Ama samaki mkunje angali mbichi. So all these proverbs, they tell you that you can only shape the behavior of a child when they are still young. You cannot be ignoring some things. Mtoto akiwa mdogo, and then by the time they are teenagers, that's when you start threatening them with things that you will do, how you have suffered raising them and all those. They will not work.
Those ones are not even solution to what is disturbing the kid. Oh, how you have struggled. How you have...
That's your choice, right?
Yeah. Why did you have kids when...
when you couldn't afford them?
So that's it for Jumosi Podcast. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. Leave a comment, share it, and like.
Road to 1,000 subscribers. Umeamua kutuacha hivyo hanging.
Yes, I want to get mad at the parents. But then they will say, oh, unariga juko na pesa.
Pesa gani?
Everybody moja kwa majuu. People think that you have money.
No, like, but the truth is, have children that you can afford and make sure you address your children's needs from a young age. You don't just wait for them to grow up and then you start threatening them with what you're going to do to them if they don't do this. If you did not start early enough, then it's your problem.